Have you ever failed? I mean, failed over and over again, especially when you thought you were hmm, ready. It'll leave you shook, stunned, and probably pissed. What do you do when you are stuck? Let's explore that and more on the Teacher Says podcast. Welcome back, you. It's great that you are here with me today. Whether you are in your car, at home, on the toilet, hey, or wherever, we've got a lot to unpack today. So let's get started right away. Make sure that you rate, like, subscribe. I want to give a big what's up to my newest listeners on Amazon Music. Yay! Round of applause. I'm glad you have joined the crew. Make sure you check us out on our social media and welcome aboard. So with all that being said, let's get started. So today I was thinking of starting my show off with a little book. I hate to say book review, but breakdown, because I randomly found this book on Audible. Hopefully, Audible will become a sponsor sooner than later. And I wanted to share my thoughts with you all. So I spent the past, I'll say 3 days, doing the Audible version of Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So it's kind of like with all that's going on in the world right now, I'm having a little bit of an issue with motivation. Like, to make a long story short, it's been 3 weeks since the last podcast, and I actually had recorded another episode that I just was not happy with. And I'm not usually nitpicky or this is not good enough, but I really wasn't happy with the episode that will remain in the vaults. Maybe one day I'll join Patreon and it can be like a Patreon episode, but I just really wasn't feeling it, right? So I think it's a combination of what's the word I'm looking for? Everything that's going on in the world in our news cycle and work. And if you were a steady, fast listener of the show, I revealed about 4 weeks ago or 4 episodes back some personal issues, without being too personal, that have been going on in my life, and changes. Kind of, I feel I'm a pretty strong-willed person, but everything kind of snowballed, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing squat. I wouldn't say I'm not depressed, definitely not that, but just tired. Like, whenever I get a free moment, it's not about being productive and doing things that I know are good for the betterment of building the brand, building the company, building the podcast, but just like, dude, I'm tired. There's only so much I can handle. Do I feel like I'm weak? Yeah, at times. And if you hear background noise, I'm in my basement studios, and my children, I purposely wait till like late to record. My little butts are still up, but hey, it's either here or there. But in any case, so I'm like, what can I do to find some motivation? So enter the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. It looked interesting, so I was like, let me go ahead, give this a twirl, and see what I think of it. So, of course, I'm not going to give you too much information about the book, but I definitely felt it could be motivational. But I don't look at things with rose-colored lenses. So when I was like listening, there were a lot of pros, and I definitely found a lot of cons. So the pros I'm going to call my gems. So I'll start with overall, Goggins, he has been through a lot of like triumphs, tragedies, like a lot of bad things in his life. He was a victim of abuse by his father. He faced a lot of prejudice and racism. Before he joined the military, he was talking about he was very overweight. So he definitely is someone who failed over and over again. But his mentality is like, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Stop being a wuss. Stop being, I'm not going to use the language he used, which is funny because in reviews. I kind of read some reviews just to get a beat on how others felt, and a lot of people were talking about his language. Yeah, it didn't bother me, but he definitely used a lot of foul language, as I call it, say at work with my students. It didn't, like I said, that didn't bother me. What kind of bothered me, honestly, well, I'll get into that in a moment. So he joined the military, found himself. I mentioned before, he feels like you only tap it. No, I didn't mention this actually. He feels like you only tap into 40% of your potential. Now that I can roll with. I believe that you're not working up to your full potential. Gotcha. In agreement. Agreement. But the whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. I get it. Like after I read his book, I did feel more motivation. I felt more motivation, but my issues with the book, because you knew it was coming, are going to be more of my misses, my cons. What I didn't appreciate about the book, and I wish he went into more depth, is his personal life. It seems like he put a lot of effort into becoming this dynamic athlete. Because once again, I don't want to tell you all too much information regarding the book, but he becomes like world class athlete. He does like mega runs, or I forgot the terminology he used, but basically he ultra runs, ultra marathon. Boom, came right to me. Also, ultra marathon runner, and he runs 100-mile marathons or 60-mile. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot. And he talks about his strategies, methodology, all that good stuff, right? But he really, really glosses over his personal life without being too nosy, because it's like I don't really want to know all his information, but he's been married multiple times, and it's like he puts all this mentality in being the best, doing the best, don't give up. But it's like, but dude, you were engaged here, you married here, and he like talks about it really quickly, like, yeah, so I got married, and then I got a divorce. Then I got remarried because she was pregnant, and the baby came, and now my new fiance, and it's like, okay, we're kind of like, I look at things as a totality, as a whole picture, and it's kind of like you're talking about you're great as an athlete, your great career, but your personal life you're really glossing over, and that's just the tragedies and the bad parts of growing up with abusive parents. So it's like, I can't say it's a 5-star book, but I definitely wouldn't say 1-star either. Somewhere in a happy medium. There's a lot of what Goggins said that I could apply to my life, but then I'm kind of giving him, I'm not going to lie, kind of a bit of a side eye. Like, okay, we get it. You have this Navy SEAL mentality. You rock as a Navy SEAL. You rock as a paratrooper and, Army Ranger or whatever else. I'm not military, so I don't know all this other stuff that you've done. But your personal life, you're really glossing over it. Huh? Like, okay, you see where you're putting all your efforts to, So that was my vision. It definitely was a very what's the word I'm looking, masculine book. I think because I'm a woman, a lot of the personal stuff. Like I said, I'm not really trying to pry in his life, but it's like, okay, you're a star athlete, superstar athlete. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Never surrender. Don't give up. But your personal life seems to be suffering from this mentality. So that's my review on Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. But that's going to be the overall theme for the show today. It's like, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, doing things when you don't really feel like doing it, which, I can't say having the podcast is something I do feel like doing. My issue is just the motivation as of late with all this, between COVID, politics, job, kids, my little personal issue that will be ongoing for I don't even know how long. So, kind of roll all that into one, your motivation might get a little. So what can be done to keep going? And I would love it if you have a book review, especially motivation. I like self help to a certain extent that you would like me to read. As long as it's an audiobook, just go ahead and send it to me via email or my social media. And I would love to check it out as long as it's something I haven't read before. Because I have read quite a few books. I'm always looking for something in that genre to check out, to feel motivational and include it on the show. It's my goal, hopefully it actually comes into fruition, that I have a book to chat about every week. That would be awesome. So let's go ahead and move on. All right, I'm back. And I have some exciting news for the past week. I really hunkered down on one of my side hustles, and I'm really excited that I've net profit made a net profit of over $100 on user testing. Like, I've been rocking user testing, and I've actually got invited to do a couple of the higher paying tests, which I'm super excited about. And truthfully, I actually got paid. I actually was invited to do one of the higher paying tests today. Like, I kid you not, probably 3 hours before I started recording this, made it all the way up to signing up for an appointment time, and I had to turn it down, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So, user testing, I've probably talked about, it seems like probably the fourth time, but I'll be very transparent. I had taken it very casually in the past, but due to just, finances, life, etc., I'm like, I really, really need money. We're in lockdown COVID situation. So if you're listening like 20 years, 10 years, 5 years in the future, this is the heart of being locked up. Well, no, not the heart, but this is a situation where in October 2020, don't even get me started on my whole 2020 like tirade. Just everybody's like, it's the worst year ever. I mean, I can't call that until, December 31st, 30th, whatever the last day of December is, 2020, right? I just can't give the year that power until we make it to the end, December 31st. So, does it have the makings of being the worst year ever? I can see that. Is it for me the worst year ever? No, I can't call it yet, like I said before. But being said, I'm very quick in the past to like find part-time jobs here, there. The whole show started with my exploration with VIP Kid, but then I think I got into to why I stopped. It was mostly ego because I was like, this money is not really much here where I live. So let's see what else is going on. I've done out school, which money's pretty good, but I'm looking for something easy and quick, and easier and quicker, I should say. And user testing has been for the past, I'll say, year my fallback, but never have I really taken it as seriously as I have the past week, where I've netted over $100. Like I said, I've been invited to various, at least three $30 panels. Now I'll go back. I don't think I went into why I didn't take the panel that I was accepted to 3 hours ago, simply because it was, and forgive me for not knowing the full terminology, it was like Indian Standard Time. It was like something I'd never heard of, and they wanted me to be at the computer at 3 a.m. Okay, 3 a.m. when I'm already having a hard time like sleeping through the night. My sleep is precious, so I was like, nope, not going to wake up in the middle of the night for $30. Sorry, but not sorry. So I had to go ahead and say no to that. But like I said, I feel pretty good about it because in the past week I was invited to three $30 panels. It took me all of like 20 minutes, so I made $30 in 20 minutes. The $10 test, with the exception of one, usually take me under 20 minutes. So it's kind of like, okay, it's about fair. And I'm doing it all like on my downtime. I finish working, and before that, I have to go start making dinner for my family. Let me go see what user testing has. And I take a little, test and, like a pre-test to see if you qualify. Boom, I do, cool. Let me do what they want me to do. Boom, I do that. It takes me about, like I said, anywhere from as short as 10 minutes to as long as 20 minutes. with the exception of one, which company I will not say, but I'm like, dude, this is taking 35, 40 minutes. You're only paying me $10. This is not cool. But to stay in their good graces, I don't give up. I just go ahead and keep doing it. I had issue with the payment, for that particular test. It was a pretty well-known app too, and I'll leave it at that. So daily, I've been checking user testing. They pay you 7 days after you take the test through PayPal. Money is in my account 7 days later. I'm like, boom, it's right there. Cool. All good. So, like I said, I don't know. A lot of people sleep on user testing. I'll explain, to people I know. You won't get a lot of money, but it's, it adds up here and there. Like I said, $100 in 7 days, it's a nice little chunk of change. I can help pay a bill, whatever. It's not, at least where I live, enough to live on, not even close to enough to live on, but it's good for, paying down a bill, or my grocery bill for the week will be about a little over $100. I could say that's groceries. Shopping at Aldi, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done a show on Aldi before. So once again, if you're sleeping on user testing, that's on you. That's actually my favorite little hustle of the moment. The other one I'm trying to get into is Amazon Turk. Like I've mentioned before, I've done it before. It's complicated as far as the look goes, and also it to the higher paying uh, gigs. And like I said, I'm quick to just say I have ego. I'm not doing the penny gigs. I need some real money. So again, I'm trying to get into it, but I'm very hesitant. I mean, you got to start from the bottom, but a penny, and when I don't quite understand, like, okay, is it just like a trick? Or will you really be paying me 1 cent for my time? I don't know, and I really don't want to find out, so I kind of stick to user testing, even though Amazon Turk it's legit. It's just a lot I don't really quite 100% understand, and I 100% understand user testing, so I kind of stick with that. So that is my bae for the moment. And how about you? What are you doing as a side gig other than multi-level marketing? I don't really go on my tirades about it anymore. I hate multi-level marketing. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to go on a tangent. It's not my thing. So if you have any websites that are legit where you're getting paid, like I've done surveys, which I hate. Surveys, they ask you quite a bit of work, and to this day, I guess I never could get into it. I've never made a lot of money on surveys ever. I'll tell you about my trifecta, which was the 3 websites that I was making money on, or at one point or another, which was IntelliZoom Panel. They're legit. User testing, I just sing their praises, and Amazon Turk. They're cool as well. Additionally, if you can get on InstaPanel, they're like a ghost in the night, I guess you could say. Like InstaPanel is super cool. To be quite honest, InstaPanel is my absolute favorite. The only thing about InstaPanel is that they are so inconsistent. Like you won't hear from them for months. Then all of a sudden, boom, give us your opinion about A, B, and C. Okay, gave my opinion. Boom, here's $20 in your PayPal account. Oh my gosh, I love InstaPanel. But like I said, I guess because it's so easy, they keep themselves very mysterious. You don't hear from them all of a sudden. They're right there in your email asking you to do something. You do it, and they drop the $20 like instantaneously. Like you wouldn't be getting your money day of. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's move on. All right, so I'm gonna give you some apps that I've learned about. I can't really sing their praises too much. One is going to be from the teacher viewpoint, and one as a parent. So I can say as a teacher, the newest app that we have been exploring via virtual learning is Talking Points. Talking Points is great if you have a lot of students of diverse backgrounds whose families speak multiple languages, which would definitely be my school in the district where I teach. We have many students who speak so many different languages at home other than English. Like Spanish is definitely primary, but we also have, what else? We have Tagalog, Vietnamese, French, so my primary language, of course, is English. I speak a little bit of Spanish from high school and college. I am nowhere near fluent, so I definitely need assistance when it comes to translating. And Talking Points, the app does that for you. So it's a good way to communicate with parents, especially when you have parents who speak multiple languages. And as a parent tip, this is my tip for virtual learning. I would definitely say the most important thing is just to focus on the, I call them the testing subjects, like math and reading or English language arts, when they seem like overwhelmed. Because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot going on in my life right now, and a lot of it, like I said, I do have a lot of issues with certain things going on, and I'm pretty much running the show when it comes to myself, when it comes to my kids' education at the moment. So, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I feel as a parent overwhelmed, especially when I shouldn't, because they're using the same platform I teach with. So that, I'm very cognizant when I'm teaching not to give too much information, because they can email you to death and fill up your email box. Like, I don't know what, with all these different platforms and stuff. So rather than focus on everything, I said, I'm just going to focus on reading, math, and what happens, happens. I hope I'm not scarring my children for life, that they're in third grade, that we're going to focus on some things and not everything else. I mean, luckily, whatever they do is whatever they do, but I'm going to just, do the best I can with what I have. And for me, it's focusing on reading and math. So there's that. All right, so I want to keep this episode under 30 minutes, and I feel like I'm doing that, so that's a win. So this is the time where I'm going to head on out, but before I do, once again, make sure you like, rate, subscribe. 5-star reviews are always fantastic. Do my best to be back as soon as possible, hopefully within a week. And thank you to all my new listeners who are listening via Amazon Music. Definitely have seen my ratings, and wow, pretty happy about that. So everyone, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and be great. Bye-bye.